I think then Mr. Vami had a lot of tough time convincing him that this guy who was standing and talking is a good man, sir. Don't worry, have patience. He will handle it. Don't worry. I think there was a lot of learning in the 80s, 70s, after the post 70s era. And 90s, the changes came. The mega changes happened, the brisk changes, high speed changes happened. And I don't know, whole world HR started getting busy in creating. Maybe the old economy businesses were trying to learn how they sustain themselves. Maybe the new economy businesses were trying to create not only from the neighbors and the old economy industries, but also from outside. And a lot of exciting things started coming in. Many of them were useful, many of them were under experimentation, and many of them were also being worked as a feature creep, as I quoted one of my friends, Mark Jeffron, Dwarka knows, who talks about 1 minute, one page talent management. He says, why do you put the people in reading volumes of performance management system or talent management system? Very simple. I think 90s was turning time when there were a lot of strife also getting up. And I think we have tried to capture our learning as to how we learned during this time also. And 2000 onwards, I mean, HR has been big population, kind of explosion for HR talents, HR professionals. And they did a great job, but then they will have a lot of challenges in the future, which I come and bring it to the capability or the competencies that HR people need for future after 2015. I think, but all related to the story of NTPC that I brought it. I did not dwell with 15 years of my sale or 6-7 years of my private life, private company life. I think because this was the best example that I had before me, the best learning that I had before in my life. So I will come to other stories of maybe Jindals and maybe some others a little later if you really like it. We during the time we created a HR model. It developed rather. It developed by itself as we were trying to experiment. And so we started addressing, and we learned from so many big teachers. Like we picked up ideas from C.K. Prahalad, some of the quotations which he uttered in our Michigan Business School, or we talked of Dave Ulrich sometimes when he was directing a program for us in there. I think there was a lot of learning coming, and every small bit of learning that we used to get, we used to come and pool. I would talk to Indraneel, I would talk to Kanaya, I'll talk to Kalp. What is the other girl? Kanchana. They were all intelligent by then. Bartunu entered, and I think we had a lot of processing that was going on. And maybe sorry that I'm getting nostalgic, but then many of my friends are here who have. I have been therefore looking at this work when capturing some of the thoughts in the book. Was working as a florist, virtually as a florist who makes a bouquet. So it's virtually a bouquet before you. The colors have been given by you. You gave me red, you gave me yellow, you gave me violet, you gave me blue, whatever collected from you. You gave me varieties, you gave me daffodils, you gave me lilies, you gave me whatever. Collected them and tried to bouquet them and have presented you before you, returning it back to you. If you like it, enjoy it. If you don't remember me. So thank you very much. I have been lucky. I have been very lucky, and lucky for whatever little I have achieved with you. I don't think that I would like to add my name anywhere such list. But then I have been lucky primarily because you have been wonderful. I mean, there have leaders who are sitting here at every point of time with even a briefest of their interaction with me. I would capture learning from them. They have been holding hands so emotionally and so strongly as a professional. I have been lucky because I have wonderful family and family of my team all over, whether I worked anywhere. Wonderful team. They were great, jubilant people, so much of energy and so much of knowledge they would bring, ready to learn and ready to add. That whether I was in Jindal, whether I was in Reliance, everywhere people were very enthusiastic to learn. I think so. I was lucky because they held my hand and supported. I also was lucky because I had a wonderful daughter who has been really able advisor to me, and gets happy at little thing that I would do, get frowns at me if I make a mistake. And so she has been a guide, and I think she has flown all the way for 2 days just to attend this function. That's a big motivator, son. Thank you very much. And I have been also lucky because I have a wife who has been like a pillar of energy and pillar of strength behind me. I think that was a wonderful. Thank you for all the support. Yeah, and I welcome you once again. Thank you. Thank you for being with me.
Thank you, sir. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have with us the man who captained the ship of GSK International's HR team for several years out of his 4-decade-long career. During his tenure, GSK was adjudged one of the top 5 best employers in India for people-related practices. He himself was rightly honored with Pathfinders Award, HR Professional of the Year Award, to name a few. I invite current Director, Group Human Capital of Max India Limited, Shri P. Dwarkanath, to deliver his address.
Respected Mr. Nair, other respected panelists on the dais, and my dear Kishore. It's indeed a great honor and a privilege for me to stand in this august gathering in the presence of so many luminaries, especially very distinguished panelists here. But Kishore, let me tell you, we are all here, not that because you held some positions, nor you have written a book, because of your relationships and the humility you have demonstrated. I think you talked about humility very well, and you said about others, and equally it applies to you. I think, it's ultimately it is not the positional authority, it's a personal relationship, I think, which matters a lot. That's what you carried. That is the goodwill you are carried. I would not like to stand in between you and other dignitaries on the dais to say, but I would like to say a few words. I mean, it's fortunate we have the same vintage, same age, and we work together. I think, there's an introduction he talked about is NTPC. Like NTPC, virtually in 42 years, I spent only 3 companies, DCM. That's where I learned the baptism on fire on industrial relations in Calcutta, and then, spent 30 years with GlaxoSmithKline and last 7 years with Max. So I think, when we were in GSK, Kishore and me were very good friends. And Kishore is one thing I liked about Kishore is he always used to come tell us what we can do better, how to benchmark. And GSK was rated as the top best 5 employers in India. We were number 4. I recall in 2002. I think I want to illustrate that incident. And Kishore came to me, Dwarka, we want to also try for this best employers award. I said, please, by all means. I said, I will only on one condition. He said, tell me. I'm not joking. I said it. I was number 4 last year. If you can come to number 3, I'll happy to share. And where is GK? GK and his team and Kishore came and spent very intense discussions with my team and with us for a week. And they had brought about the competency profiling, how to make competency and capability. The results next year was announced. It was a very prestigious event at that time. And NTPC was number 3 and GSK was number 4. And if you see, I'm not saying, I think, how this is the first and perhaps the only public sector company which figured continuously in the top 5 best employer for 3 consecutive years. And, every time the loss, if I say it, was GSK. Because of him, we pushed 1 rank back. And if you see the star-studded, P&G number 1, Amex number 2, NTPC number 3, GlaxoSmithKline number 4, J&J number 5. And no public sector even reached at that level in the top 5. I think, what it matters, I think, there are great CEOs here, a lot of people have contributed, it's not one single, but I think how HR leader can play such a positive and active role to create that we can win, we can do, provided we motivate and engage people. I think, that's what the message I want to say. I think this is where I think, Kishore, I have to say it's a healthy competition. I'm not saying win or lose. What we couldn't achieve, you have achieved. I think it is not only public sector, I think it's a private sector. In private sector, having spent all your life in public sector, holding a senior positions in Navaratnas and so on, to come and work in a enterprising, promoter-based companies in a different sectors are extremely difficult. I think that is where your adaptability comes in. And you did not leave it. In cricket, you have whether a batsman or a bowler or a wicket keeper. So if you are a bowler or a batsman, you call all-rounder. I don't know what to call you. You are a public sector, private sector, and an academician. And I said, I have been waiting for last 10 years whether Dr. Chaturvedi will come and call me in my house, nor Dr. Pritam Singh. No one has called me, and they called you. That means there is something in you which we don't have. So, so I think, I don't want to dwell on it. But just to say that I think if you I just had a glance about the book. He didn't talk about HR processes to start with. I think I just want to bring it especially to our HR fraternity who have been here. He talked about the business, he talked about the vision, the culture. Culture eats strategy for breakfast. That's what Peter Drucker said. I think he touched upon the culture, the values. That's how the NTPC has built in along with others. And then you talk about change management. I think, that's very important. I mean, talent is important. He talked about work-life balance and all. I think, before I conclude, I want to say